Yes. Beautiful. All right, we did it, dude. You're here. So if you will lay on your back, just get comfortable, stretch out, and we'll start to transition. We may not be able to quiet the mind, especially after a day like today, so just try and focus on the breath as it goes in and out, and just be still in your body. I'm actually really impressed because you guys have been super dedicated, and I'm glad to hear that this has been effective in helping your body move a little bit better. So we'll just kind of keep moving in that direction. So just take a moment to note any sounds that are going on around you, any feelings you have in your body, any tension, any thoughts that pop up. Notice them and kind of just try and let them go, and give yourself permission to let everything go as much as you can. Release any tension that you might be holding in the body, and just breathe. All right, hopefully everything should be nice and relaxed. So if you can make your way up into a seated position, nice and slowly, whatever's comfortable for you. And then we're going to move into the side waist and get a little bit more flexibility there. So lift that right arm up and gently reach it out to the side, palm onto the floor. Left arm comes up over the head and lean toward the right side. Try and stretch those left fingers toward the right wall. Open the chest. Stretch a little bit farther. And then push yourself back up. We're going to switch sides. And bring that the left arm out to the side. Lift the right arm up overhead. There you go. Nicely done. Bend over toward the left side of your room. Try and let the rib cage open up. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And then push yourself back up. Release both of the arms back down to the floor. We're going to start with a nice easy pose with a twist. So take a deep breath in. Make sure the spine is nice and straight and long. And then on an exhale, bring your left palm to the right knee to start your twist. Right hand will come behind you. You'll be on your fingertips. Take a moment and see if you can stretch your neck and look over that right shoulder. Inhale, lengthen the spine, even out the shoulders. Exhale, twist a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, and release. Come back to the middle. Nice. All right, let your spine get used to this being straight again. Just pause for a moment for that twist. And then reach your right hand over to the left knee. Bring the left hand behind your back and engage that twist. Try and point chin toward the left shoulder. If you start to feel any pain in your neck, just back off a little bit. You don't have to do a full turn. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Nice few breaths here. And return to the middle. All right, so we're gonna move into cat-cow. So if you wanna come onto your hands and knees. Those wrists can be stacked underneath the shoulders, or should be. The knees should be under the hips. And then if you have any wrist pain, just try and put a little bit more of the pressure into the fingertips. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Take a nice inhale, and as you inhale, drop the belly toward the floor. Lift the tailbone. Open the chest. Enjoy that cow. Exhale, push the floor away from you. Start to arch the spine. Relax the neck. Inhale, drop the belly back down. We're going to move through your own breaths at your own pace for a few moments, probably about 5 breaths, to just enjoy arching up into the cat-cow. Release the neck. Inhale down to the cow position. Exhale into cat.
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
I will kill this cow. Really? Super relaxing. All right, just take a couple more breaths here. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Then come to a neutral spine. Get yourself set up. Bring your knees a little bit wider towards the edges of your mat. Bring your big toes a little bit closer. And then sink your hips back toward your heels for child's pose. Now, this is a great place to throw in the pillow to give your body a little bit more of a chance to relax. So if you can still walk the hands forward and then release the forehead into the pillow. And it gives you a little bit more elevation to let that chest melt toward the floor. Stretch those fingertips toward the far wall. Breathe softly, nothing too deep. And just let your body melt into child's pose. At any point, if a pose becomes too much, or you need just a little break, this is a great position to take to just let your body reset and come back to where you were. It's a great pose for the parasympathetic nervous system. Helps slow everything down, the mind, the breath. A few more breaths here. All right, gently push yourself back up. Move the pillow out of the way for baby cobra. So you're going to just walk yourself forward and onto your belly. Grab everything down. This one we want to connect the legs together, kind of zip them together like they're glued together in the middle. Forehead to the floor. Bring your palms right underneath the shoulders, next to your ribcage. Take a deep breath in and out. And then as you inhale, lift the head, the chest, and the shoulders with using as much of your back strength as possible, as little of your arm strength as possible. On your next exhale, release the forehead back to the mat. And take a deep breath in and out. This is a great way to strengthen the spine. In a position that a lot of us don't actually spend a lot of time strengthening our spine. But it is very important for functionality. All right, on your next inhale, again, lift the head, the chest, shoulders, arch the spine, hold it, zip those legs together. Nice shallow breath in, out, more in, and on the exhale, release the forehead back to the mat. And breathe. So we're going to move into down dog. Stretch the other way in your spine. So push yourself back up into a tabletop all fours position. And then tuck your toes under. Lift your knees. And then bring the hips up toward the ceiling and push back with your arms. Push the floor away from you with your arms. Spreading those fingers nice and wide again. Let the neck just relax, and then one at a time, bend those knees, pedal out the feet, walk your dog. Stretching out the hamstrings, giving the body a moment to get used to this inversion. Then gently release those heels toward the floor, push the floor away from you again. Try and bring the chest a little bit closer to the shins. Bring that tailbone up toward the ceiling. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Make sure the neck is nice and relaxed. Take 2 more deep breaths in through the nose. Big breath out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and then gently drop the knees back down. to the mat, coming to all fours. We're going to move into the low lunge. So there's a few ways that are easier to do this. So if you can lift your hips, bring them back up in the air, walk the hands forward, and then bring that right foot in between your feet, your hands. Drop the left knee down to the ground. Untuck those toes. And try and let the hips release toward the ground. Back is nice and straight. We're just going to settle into this posture for a moment before we try the half split. And we'll make it a little bit dynamic and move through the half split to the low lunge. All right. Hopefully that left groin area has had a moment to release. Now, on the exhale, gently push out of that lunge with the right foot, hinging at the hips. You can have a slight bend in that right leg. That's perfectly acceptable. But try and get those toes pointed up toward the ceiling. Level out the hips. And stretch into that right hamstring. All right, on your next inhale, move back into that lunge. Bring your weight back into the front right foot. And on an exhale, push back into the half split. With your own breaths, keep moving through those two poses. Just for a few more breaths. Nice. These really help to open up the hips and the hamstrings. Very functional movement. All right. Come back into that front lunge. Put your weight in your hands. And then bring that right knee back along the left, back to meet your left knee. And then bring that left foot up in between the hands. Lean forward, drop the hips. We'll take a few breaths here to kind of let those muscles release. And one side may definitely feel different than the other side, each one of us. For every single posture, we'll feel a little bit differently on the right side than we do on the left side. All right, on an exhale, push down into that left heel, bring the hips back, hinge at the hips, fold at the waist, bring those toes up toward the ceiling, and bring that left leg a little bit straighter. Once we've given the hamstring a moment to relax and stretch out. On the next inhale, move back into that low lunge, bringing the hips forward again, bending that left knee. Exhale, push the hips back. Inhale, bring the hips forward. Just move through these at your own pace for a few more breaths. All right, the next time you've brought yourself forward into that low lunge, put the weight back in your fingertips, push your hips back, bring that left knee back to meet that right knee. We're going to be back at all fours for threading the needle to open up the shoulders, weird. All right. Hilarious. Okay. All right. So let's start with an inhale, lifting those right fingertips up toward the ceiling, opening the chest. And then as you exhale, bring that hand down, slide it along the floor, across your body. Bring the shoulder and the ear down to the ground. Just let the body accept. Gentle twist. Keep breathing. Make sure you aren't tensing up any of the muscles in your shoulder. Just let it release. Stretch. Inhale. Exhale. On your next inhale, push yourself back up. Bring that right arm back up toward the ceiling, stretching the fingers, looking towards those right fingers before you bring them back down to the ground. Now we're going to support ourselves on the right hand. Make sure you've got the knees under the hips, wrist under the shoulders. On the inhale, lift those left fingers up toward the ceiling, open the chest, stretch everything out, look up towards those left fingers. And then on the next exhale, drop that hand down, slide it along the mat, across your body. Drop the left ear and the left shoulder to the floor. And release. Just keep breathing. All right, nicely done. Push yourself back up to hands and knees. And then we're going to drop actually back down to the belly. Let that forehead come back to the floor. The feet can be about hip width apart. Bring your hands up a little bit, kind of in a goalpost position. Elbows level with the shoulders. On your next breath in, for Sphinx, you're going to lift the head and the chest, and you're going to bring those elbows directly below the shoulders. Forearms will be parallel in front of you. Palms just gripping the floor. And now we've got another slight back bend, which is a little bit of leverage. Take some breaths and relax into this. Oh my God, I'm going to kill Spotify here in a second. Why did it keep pausing itself?
I release control.
All right. Exhale. Release the forehead back to the floor. Let all of the tension out of the arms. You can actually push the arms down alongside the side of the body. Let any tension out of the shoulders, palms facing up.
And surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control.
All right, bring those arms back up to that goalpost position. Get them ready to, the elbows ready to slide under the shoulders. On the next inhale, lift the head, the shoulders, the chest. Bring those elbows right below the shoulders. Palms down on the floor. Forearms parallel in front of you. Gaze down at your mat. Nice soft gaze. Open your chest a little bit more. Try and drop the hips into the floor. All right, nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, release the forehead back to the floor. You can release those hands down alongside the body, palm facing up. Let the body relax. The transition from the next pose for bridge is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is roll over onto your back. Nice and gentle. Take it slow. You don't want to pull anything. I pull stuff doing the weirdest, most simple things these days, so I'm always wondering why I'm sore for no reason. So bend the knees, feet on the floor. Bring them in towards your sit bones as close as possible, and then stretch those fingertips down toward the heels. We may not be able to reach them, but we want to reach toward them. And then take a nice deep breath in and out. And on your inhale, lift the hips off the floor, press into the heels, engage the core. Shoulders are glued to the mat, just a little bit of extra energy lifting you up and away from the floor. Feel a little bit of tension. Keep the knees parallel. The ankles parallel, and release. Roll your spine, drop the hips back down to the floor. So we'll move through this a few more times, as per usual, at your own pace, with your breath.
And surrender to the flow.
How do I do this? There we go. Okay. I'm not sure why my music keeps stopping, and it's, of course, very distracting for me and driving me nuts. All right, take a deep breath. Bring yourself back to the present moment. Extend those hands out by the sides, reach towards the heels. And on your next inhale, lift the hips off the ground. Use the front of the thighs to raise them toward the ceiling. Trying to take pressure out of the low back on this one. Exhale, drop the hips back to the floor. In and out. Inhale, lift the hips back up. Really stretch along the front side of the body. Push those shoulder blades into the ground. Push through the heels. Make sure the knees are hip width distance. Exhale, release your hips back down to the floor. All right. Take a moment. We're going to come back up to a seated position. Nice and slow. We're not in a rush. There we go. Perfect. All right, so we're going to start with the seated forward bend. So if you can, I invite you to extend your legs out in front of you. And keep a slight bend in the knees. Try and make sure those toes are pointed toward the ceiling. And then we're going to move into this one a little bit more gently than we did on the last set. So just gently, slowly walk your fingertips forward, keeping your back nice and straight, your chest open, until you start to feel a nice stretch in the back of your thighs. It may not take very much. This is another place where we can kind of just sink into the posture. So if you want to grab a pillow, of course your pillow may not look like mine, but you can throw it across the thighs, and as you walk forward, takes a little bit of pressure out, makes it a little bit more relaxing. You can just release the forehead. Let the neck stretch. Let the back of the thighs stretch. Take some nice deep breaths in and out. All right. Take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walk your hands back. Bring your torso upright. Throw that pillow wherever you want it, or keep it very close because there's still going to be some more postures we might need it for. But from here, we're going to move into half dragonfly. So you can bring your right leg out, make it a little bit wider. Left foot comes in toward that right inner thigh. Now just make sure the back is nice and straight, but we're going to ease our way into this one as well, just like we did on the last one. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk yourself forward. Depending on how far you can get, this is another spot where you might be able to throw the pillow in, or even just kind of rest like this. Hands on each elbow, forearms together, relax the forehead. Bring those right toes to point up toward the ceiling. Feel free to put a slight bend in that right knee. As long as you feel a gentle stretch on the inner thigh and the hamstrings. And just let the body surrender. Inhale, exhale, and slowly bring yourself up. Push yourself back into an upright position, and then switch out the legs. The left leg extends. Right foot comes in toward that inner thigh. Left toes pointed up toward the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, walk yourself forward. You can bring those arms together, rest the forehead on the forearms. Just let the neck release. The only place that you should be feeling tension right now is that nice stretch in the leg. Let everything else relax. All right. On your next exhale, slowly push yourself back up. You can keep the pillow nearby. It's going to be very similar since we're going to do the wide leg forward fold. So now both legs.
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
How do I tell this lady no, period, ever, I don't ever want to talk to you? Okay, good. What the hell? Microsoft 10 and Cortana is not my friend. I do not love Cortana. I'm a big fan of Bixby on my Android, but Cortana can suck it. So, legs wide. Keep that pillow nearby if you'd like to. And then, of course, it's her. She keeps messing with my music. All right. All right, very similar concept. Inhale, make sure the spine's nice and long, chest open. And then on your exhale, walk those fingertips forward until you feel a stretch. Try and keep the feet flexed. Release the neck. Try and let the chest release a little bit more toward the floor. Take a few more breaths. And then use your hands to push yourself back upright. Hey, we got a kitty. And then we're going to go into butterfly, which is basically going to be the last upright position before we lay down for the next few minutes. So it's going to be awesome. So for butterfly, you want to bring the soles of your feet together in front of you. Bring them in towards the groin. Will get you a little bit more of a stretch, but it can be very difficult if you've got tight hips. So whichever way, like pushing them farther away, if that helps you get your knees a little bit wider, then that's what is right for your body. All right. Inhale. Lengthen the spine. And this time we are going to let the spine round as we bring it forward. So you don't have to worry about being straight. Just kind of lead with the forehead. Let that chin tuck and come down into butterfly. This can be another nice place to throw the pillow under your forehead. You need a little bit extra support. Everybody has varying levels of flexibility. All right. Push yourself back up. I'm going to have you do just a little bit of dynamic movement. So I'm going to have you inhale, fold forward. Exhale, bring yourself back up. So, hi Kiki. All right, so inhale, tuck your chin, gently round yourself forward. On the exhale, bring your spine nice and straight. Shoulders back. Tiny little arch, push those shoulders back. All right, inhale, tuck your chin, round your spine. Bring your head closer to the ground. A little bit of stretch on the inner thigh. And on your exhale, bring yourself back up. Spine is straight, chest is open. All right, so now we're going to move into laying postures. So bring your knees back together for a moment. Take a moment, hug your knees, stretch out the spine. Let everything in the body reset for a moment. And then roll your back down. Knees are bent. Bring the soles of the feet together. And let the knees gently open out to the sides. Bring the arms alongside the body, about 6 inches away from your body. Palms up. So you can receive the energy. And possibly any cat that needs scritches, apparently. Very gentle release. And before your hips get too mad at me, use your palms and gently lift your leg. Guide those knees back together, soles of the feet back to the floor. And then you can extend both legs out. And everything relax again. Take a moment to breathe in and out. And then we're going to get set up for wind relieving pose. And how do you do this? One leg at a time. Last time we did it with both legs together. So, bring your right knee up in towards your chest. Bend that right knee. Clasp your fingers together. Put them on the shin. And use your muscles to bring that knee a little bit out towards the side of the rib cage and a little bit closer to your armpit. So out and down. A little bit of compression in that right hip. Temporary compression can be a really nice thing. Breathe in. Squeeze that knee out toward the side a little bit more. Release the right leg out. Stretch it all the way out. And switch the legs out. Bend the left knee. Bring it up towards your chest. A nice squeeze in toward your rib cage.
I can learn to understand you much better if I can get familiar with the way you talk. I need your permission to help.
Oh my God, I swear to God, I am going to kill this bitch. If anybody knows how to totally burn Cortana down, just comment anytime. All right. Take one more gentle squeeze. Bring that knee out, down toward the armpit, and release. Both legs. Stretch everything out. Get nice and long, the whole body. We're going to move into reclined pigeon. So bend both knees. Lift your right leg up first. Bring the right ankle to the left knee. Right hand threads through both inner thighs, and the hands can clasp behind the thigh or on the top of the shin. You got a little bit extra room, but make sure that right foot is flexed. It's going to help save your knee. In, out, and release the left foot back to the floor. Right foot back to the floor. Extend the left leg up in the air. Bring the left ankle to the right knee. Left arm threads between the thighs, inner thighs. Arms can clasp behind the knee or on top of the shin. Keep that left foot flexed. Draw that right knee a little bit closer to your body. Two more breaths here. And release the right foot back to the floor. Left foot back to the floor. So with your knees together, bring them back to the chest. Give them a little hug, gentle hug towards your ribcage. Release. Use your right hand and gently guide your knees over to the right side. Extend the left arm. Gaze toward the left fingertips. Just relax. You're doing great. We're actually almost done. All right, bring those knees back up to the middle. Take a moment, hug them back into your chest. Squeeze. Give yourself that much deserved, much needed love today. And then use your left hand and guide your knees over to the left side of the body. Extend that right arm. Gaze gently over toward the right fingertips. And breathe. All right. Inhale, bring those knees back to the middle. And then stretch both legs out all the way. Extend them. Get comfortable for Shavasana. Hands down alongside the body. Little space away from the body. Palms up. Take a breath. And then close your eyes or soften your gaze. Bring your awareness back to your breathing. Relax your jaw. Relax your forehead. Relax your neck. Relax the spine. Relax the legs, feet, the arms. Surrender any tension. I'm going to take a few moments in silence, which is often the hardest part of the practice. Just laying here doing nothing for those of us who are incredibly active. You have earned this time to enjoy this moment. And thank yourself for being here today. All right, gently bring the awareness back to the breath. Bring your mind back to this moment. Bring a little bit of movement back to the body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can open your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Let everything melt for just one more moment. And at your own pace, roll over to your side. Bend those knees. Relax for just a little bit longer. And then push yourself up into a seated position. Whatever is most comfortable for you. Take a moment to yourself to really appreciate everything that you just went through. All of the delicious things you just did for your body that you may not have even known that you needed. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your super busy day to actually participate with me. Even when my Cortana is talking in the middle of my set, my music is stopping, my cat is headbutting me while I'm trying to shavasana. Like, this is still pretty much some of the most enjoyable part of my week. So I definitely love that you guys have been here with me for all of this. There we go. Oh, thank you. Dude, this asshole. You seriously, the whole like shavasana, he was like headbutting me and like nuzzling me and like trying to get